जब तक हिंदू मुसलमान का इशू नहीं सॉल्व होएगा ना, while it serves the political parties very well, it is truly degrading for the country. खुदा ना खास्ता ताजमहल के नीचे मंदिर निकल आता है, ताजमहल थोड़ी ना हटा दोगे. These are not things where the country should focus anymore. Usually you don't make money in startups. Life is not like Shark Tank. Entrepreneurs who make it big, it looks very fancy. It's not. So India as a country, it's a very hostile country to do anything.
In today's episode of Figuring Out, we have an entrepreneur who started his journey in the final year of MBBS with an augmented reality startup, AtStuck. In the year 2016, he built Innovate, one of the India's biggest and the best co-working spaces, which was incubated by Y Combinator. Later, it was sold to Oyo for more than 200 crores. He's also one of the most active angel investors in the country, who's invested in more than 100 startups like Joe Stocks, PSafe, Truly Madly. And in this episode, we've talked about what needs to change with India's current education system, how to deal with competitors, what is stopping India to become truly a world power, what type of startups fail and succeed, how to build right culture for your organization, and the one thing which every entrepreneur is wrong about. We have Dr. Ritesh Malik with us. So make sure that you watch this episode till the end, because this is one of the podcasts which is very different, which talks about what is wrong with the current system in our country, what is wrong with India, what every entrepreneur gets it wrong about everything in the startup. So instead of talking about rights, we have talked about wrong. Make sure you watch this episode till the end. Deepak says that there is a possibility that जो US रिजर्व का इतना, जो US करेंसी डॉलर का जो इतना ज़्यादा स्ट्रेंथ है वो ख़त्म हो सकता है इन 90 ईयर साइकिल, बिकॉज एवरी 11 ईयर साइकिल में मार्केट चेंज होता है, 90 ईयर साइकिल में वो पूरा इकोनॉमिक साइकिल चेंज होता है.
See, it's a very subjective one, very hard to comment on it. But in my opinion, the sole way to get any currency accepted is to have the blessing of the government, at least in the foreseeable future. अगर government ने कोई currency ban कर दी, or if there is any intersection where, because by the end of the day we are governed by a law. We are not a free hold organization as a country, and typically there are small countries that may legitimize cryptocurrency, but a country like India, in my opinion, it will take a lot of time.
Okay.
At the same time, true value of cryptocurrency is also of a lot of question mark right now. Typically, I know a lot of people who say कि नहीं यार, we are using cryptocurrency for converting cash into crypto.
Yeah.
Now, these kind of things are definitely, and obviously, blockchain has a lot of advantage, but we really need to be very careful about mass scale adoption of a technology which has which may have potential down risks. So I think it will take time. US dollar अभी भी, I think हम लोग ना पिछले 20 साल से सुन रहे हैं कि US dollar हो सकता है destabilize हो जाए, but अभी भी if you see, US dollar is still one of the most sought after value holding tenders in the world.
So I was reading that sometimes the technology is super good, but उस good technology का सबसे बड़ा disadvantage है that it's a technology which is understood by few. So अगर आप उसका mass adoption भी देते हो, it gets controlled at the end of the day by the people who understand. बाकी लोग उसको use करते हैं, benefits हैं, लेकिन जो लोग control करेंगे ना, फिर end में पूरा,
बिल्कुल, I agree.
So awareness का ही problem होगा. So that was a question in India, China and mass economies की here people don't understand how the basic economy works.
Yeah.
How do you expect them to understand the economy of cryptography?
Yeah. See, the challenge is with our education system. We are not taught the three most important things of life. 99.99% of all problems of humanity are across health, relationships and wealth. ये तीनों के ऊपर हमारा स्कूल हमें कुछ बताता ही नहीं है. Again, I'll tell you, health, relationships and wealth. And we are taught that wealth is more important than relationships. Relationships are more important than health. It's actually other way around. If you see, this is very interesting. There was a survey done by more than 1,500 participants whose age was higher than 94 in the US.
Okay.
And unse pucha gaya, what would you give advice? Like, you've been on this planet for
94 years.
94, 95, 100, 105 years. What is the advice that you will give to people who have to traverse time? So not even a single one said that money is more important than health or relationships. 90% of the respondents said that relationships will define your happiness, health will elongate time, and you should have money for downturns, but quantum of money is always a question mark. Your satisfaction can be, and obviously basic money is obviously very important. I'm not discounting the fact that money is a legal tender to exchange value. It is very important, but at the same time, larger focus on relationships and health is something which can truly make you happy. And the last thing which I believe is that हमारे देश की education system ना, it's not changing. Today we are still learning about 1965s. हम अभी भी mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, these are good things, but curriculum needs to be, we need to be a forward, and that is why we are building Plaksha University. It's not for profit technology university of the future. We should not be teaching things of the past. We should be teaching future में क्या होने वाला है. अगर आप अपना पूरा NCERT उठा लो, you will only and only see things which are
Past.
पहले क्या हुआ था, अशोका ने क्या किया, which is very good. अशोका कब पैदा हुआ, it's good to know, but it's not relevant in today's age. The question is, why did Ashoka think? How did he conquer? There were only two kings who conquered Hukumat-e-Hindustan. The first one was Ashoka, the second one was Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. Now the thing is, what was their thought process? How did they think is more important than when were they born? So I think continuous focus on and then obviously wealth, management of wealth. A lot of people, the humans are not good investors. If you see humans, 90% of people lose money in their lives. The reason is they're not good investors because they don't understand the basic concept of inflation. They don't understand the basic concepts. If you understand inflation, you will never do an FD.
Yeah.
If you understand and taxation, you will never do an FD. You will always do a corporate bond. If you understand compounding, you will never invest in a stock at one go. You will always do an SIP. If you understand risk mitigation, you will always create levers to ensure that wealth erosion does not happen. So I think these things need to be taught with values to us from a very, very early stage.
So, okay, coming back to the main point which you said, कि wealth is not as important as relationship is not as important as health, right? It should be other way around. तो इसका सबसे बड़ा reason, do you think the reason is कि we celebrate wrong things? We celebrate, because when you look at, let's say, media, we look at people, we look at examples, we look at role models. We are celebrating those role models because of the amount of fame they have, the amount of money they have. इसकी वजह से people value other things, or what's the reason? Like, why is it happening? Because I've always had the same feeling कि I value wealth more than anything else. And most of the people I know around my family, my friends, they all, at least in my age, people value wealth. My parents, they value relationships. And then when you look at my grandfather, grandma, they value health the most. So it's with generations.
So I think obviously age matures you and you start understanding the true value of, if you ask my dad, what is the most important thing? Now he's in that phase where he says relationships and health. When you don't have money, you always focus on. So as humans, we always focus on things we don't have. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
We never focus on things that we have. If I have a good wife, I will still focus on what are her shortcomings. If I have a good child, I will still focus on what are her shortcomings. I think as humans, we are negative. We just want to look at things that are not good with us, and we're never contented. And I think, typically speaking, today, in today's day and age, as a creator, you have an opportunity to actually, now inflation in the past 4 years, mass adoption of the word inflation has come. If you see Google Trends, people have started knowing about inflation due to creators. Due to creators like yourself, due to creators like Ranveer, like Ankur, because you are the new age heroes and teachers of India. You have a lot of responsibility on your shoulders because you are the distribution engines of the right content. What you post will attract value and vice versa. So in my opinion, uh, and this is my true opinion, schooling को पहले तो 14 साल से 8 साल पे करना चाहिए. We should not be bogged down, and schooling should start at 8ish. It should end at 16. Then you should have a gap 2 years. Then you focus on maybe college. Education is an experience on how to live, not what to learn. Unfortunately, if I ask you a question, did you read math? You did, right?
Yeah.
Math में आपने पाइथागोरस थ्योरम पढ़ा था.
Yeah.
आप मेरे को एक क्वेश्चन बताओ, पाइथागोरस थ्योरम टुडे, are you going to use Pythagoras theorem in your life right now?
नहीं.
The question is, why aren't we teaching value systems? Why aren't we teaching honesty, trust, building relationships, having a good health? We are commoditized. And see, media हमारे देश का चौथा स्तंभ है. Media needs to be more responsible. We consume, what we consume consumes us. It's as simple as that. Media needs to celebrate the right things. Unfortunately, because we are negative minded beings, as an animal, who a homo sapien is that we want to consume negative content. We want to see Hindu Musliman fighting.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the true, and that is why media will always be biased towards revenue or towards their value creation, and their value creation does not happen on positive news, unfortunately. So negative news is the reason India is a chaotic country, is because even in 20, see, we are in this century, and if we are again fighting because of Hindu Musliman, it's shameful. It's not something that you should even hear about in your life.
Yeah.
I've stopped watching TV. I cannot watch it. It induces so much frustration for this country, and you lose hope. What kind of a country are we?
You know, one of the major reasons which I feel it starts, why media is like this, why we are talking about all of these things, is ki education, at least in our education system, we are always taught to just follow. We are never taught to ask questions and raise questions. From day one, हमें बताया जाता है कि ये देखो टीचर ने बोला है ये कर लो, ये देखो टीचर ने बोला है ग्रेड 2 में, ग्रेड 5 में, ग्रेड 10 में ये करते जाओ. किसी से बोला ही नहीं कि यार ये पूछो कभी सवाल कि क्यों, क्या, कैसे कर रहे हैं. एंड बिकॉज वी स्टॉप आस्किंग क्वेश्चंस, as we grow, we are always looking for instructions. So with media also, media understands this. That's why media ka kaam is to put out facts in front of you and raise questions. But what media is doing, technically, they're instructing you in some way, nudging you towards one direction.
They're basically opinionating.
Yes.
And I just feel very sad when I see a lot of journalists shouting on the top of their voice. I'll tell you, I miss Doordarshan. It was so calm. It was so quiet. It was relevant news. I just feel that media's job is to lay out the facts, not be the fact. And lastly, I'll also tell you a very interesting thing. And this is something which I always tell journalists in startup ecosystem. The good part is whatever you give limelight to will attract people.
Yeah.
If I close the lights of this room, that room would look beautiful. While वहाँ पे अभी lights ज़्यादा नहीं है, वो फिर भी अच्छा लगेगा.
क्योंकि ये एकदम dark.
क्योंकि ये, so I think spotlight phenomenon में our media celebrates fundraisers. That's the worst form of celebration. Raising funds are not it's not a destination. यहाँ से आपको जयपुर जाना है, and कोटपुतली बीच में आता है, वहां पे अगर आपने पेट्रोल पंप में थोड़ा पेट्रोल भरवा दिया, उसके लिए आपको तालियां नहीं मिल सकती. तालियां मिलेंगी आपको तमीज से सेफली जयपुर पहुंचने पे, घर लॉक करके गाड़ी की सेफली रखे. दैट इज व्हाट ट्रू सक्सेस इज. सो आई जस्ट फील वी सेलिब्रेट थिंग्स फॉर द रॉन्ग, एंड दिस नीड्स टू चेंज. Last year, so many founders got so much recognition. किसी ने 100 मिलियन, किसी ने 200 मिलियन, किसी ने 300 मिलियन रेस कर लिया. इतने सारे स्टार्टअप्स वही बंद हो रहे हैं आज. So I just feel that, and also, what is the common currency of store of wealth. That is another, as humanity, we need to see how do we value storing wealth. The question is, I have a question to say, a company which was, say, valued at 100 crore rupees just got listed at, say, 30 crore rupees. Now the value of the founder in just 5 days becomes, say, 100 crores to 30 crores. How can you equate wealth? So in my opinion, wealth metric and wealth understanding is very difficult. How do you, I don't understand, tomorrow if there's a small mishap of Tesla, you cannot. So I think continuous and non fidgeting wealth creation needs to come, and there needs to be a global standard for that. I think that is very important. So I'll tell you a very small example. I sold my business for a very small value, but I have everything in check in my bank account. Now, am I more wealthy than a founder who's 2x of my net worth, but it's all in the papers, and his papers say that he cannot sell his stocks for the next 6 years? Now, who's more wealthy? According to media, that gentleman is more wealthy. But in my opinion, I'm not saying I'm wealthy or I'm not wealthy, but I'm just saying that the concept of wealth and equation of wealth also needs to be added in terms of your relationship quotient, your health, all these things. Once you build a holistic form of wealth, no, I think that is when you can truly decide whether you are wealthy or not.
Very interesting point. And you talked about the startup. मेरे को एक question था, which I wanted to ask, is do you think that what's a startup's purpose? Like, what's a success, right? Do you think कि selling a business successfully is success, or is it like holding on to it and then making it yourself? Like, what's the purpose? कि बेचने से अगर if you're selling it, right? Don't you think you kill your own purpose that, hey, I was going to revolutionize XYZ space, and then now I've killed it?
So the purpose of startup is to continuously add value to your consumers and customers' life, irrespective of what's happening within the company. So that should be the purpose typically. And this should happen by making a profit on every transaction. So this is how I feel about it. Sustained. Example, if I'm there and I tell you कि राज भाई आप ना मुझसे 10 रुपए का नोट ले लो और मुझे 8 रुपए वापस दे दो, you'll feel happy about it, because you know you are making 2 rupees on every transaction. And if you do it 1 lakh times every day with me, you're going to make 2 lakh rupees every single day, right? And while I will lose money on books, I can show that I'm selling 1 million rupees worth of goods to Raj on a daily basis, while you are making money, but my GMV will keep on increasing. Now what happens is that this is not the right way to do business. The purpose of business is that Ritesh gives you 10 rupees and you give me 12 rupees back on every, and you feel happy about it. The customer needs to be, so I just call these sticky products, and I call this the natural traction phenomenon. Build a business where there is a natural traction. Don't do unnatural traction. So natural traction means that a consumer, once he gets exposed to your product, she or he really want to come back, pay for the product and use it, and then tell their friends about it. This is the natural traction phenomenon. Whenever I invest in, I've invested in more than 100 startups, I always see what is the natural traction of the business, not the inorganic traction. Inorganic में तो मैं आपको इतनी बार push करूंगा कि यार एक बार आप ना वाकई में frustrate होके खरीद ही लोगे, उसके बाद वापस नहीं आओगे. What is the repeat? And example, when I invested in Joe stocks, I had invested in them in 2015, I think. I just saw one thing, that their natural traction of the product at that point of time was phenomenal. Whoever attended Joe Stocks wanted to come back and attend Joe Stocks in person again. So when I invested in Keto is a startup which does these crowdfunding platforms.
Kunal, right?
Yeah. Now, when I invested in them, I realized that people wanted to really come back to it because they felt happy about it. So I realized that is the purpose of a startup. When we built Innovate, our focus was that can we revolutionize this industry, and is there a genuine pain? So example मैं आपको बड़ा interesting बताता हूँ, राज. if you go to Kanpur, to one of the offices of Kanpur, you cannot enter inside. गर्मी इतनी होती है, लोग पसीने में होते हैं, प्याज अचार जब लंच हो रहा होता है एकदम बदबू फैल जाती है, वॉशरूम्स यू कैन नॉट एंटर, वाईफाई चल नहीं रहा होता. दिस इज and we wanted to revolutionize this for India at Innovate. We said, you come to an Innovate, I would love for you to go to one of the Innovates. We said we will not copy your WeWork. We are going to build our own design thesis, and we are going to build the best productivity experience for humankind on the planet at a price conscious level. So the goal was, the moment you enter an Innovate, you see good design, very good AC, amazing Wi-Fi, good coffee, and a place where people can come and start being a part of a community. And when we started doing that, for that people wanted, हमारा per seat cost अगर 4,000 रुपए का था तो लोग हमारे को 8,000 देने को रेडी थे. 2,000 मैं अपनी HQ कॉस्ट मानता था और 2,000 मैं अपना प्रॉफिट मानता था. So at unit level, you can never ever lose money at unit level. This is my particular belief. There are very few businesses like Facebook that need to lose money at unit level to start with, but 99% of the businesses have a clear cut product market fit.
Okay, so now you talked about product market fit or unit economics के ऊपर हमने बात करी. It's very important to have this kind of product जो stick कर जाए, तभी you can charge a premium from day one, right? So what are the attributes of a sticky product? What do you think, like 2 or 3 things in a product which stand out कि यार ये प्रोडक्ट में ये चीज़ हो तो मैं समझ में आता है कि स्टिकी हो गया, इसमें नेचुरल ट्रैक्शन बिल्ड होगा.
So I to always do a brand analysis. I just feel that, is the pull of a brand important? So this is very interesting. If you drink Starbucks का coffee in an average store, you will never appreciate Starbucks. They're not the best coffee makers in the world. If you know their vision statement, they say to be the best purveyor of coffee for humankind. Now, they might not be the best coffee in the world, but they have built a cult around them. Raj Shamani might not be the best creator in the world, but you have followers because you have built a consistent cult around it. And I think that cult is very important. People no longer want to use products. पहले क्या होता था, डिटर्जेंट जब बेचते थे लोग, वो क्या करते थे, एक निरमा का एड दिया या आपने अपनी कंपनी का एड दिया, वन वे इंटरेक्शन था. People today do not want to buy a benefit. They do not want to buy features. They want to buy benefits. They want to understand, what does this product do to me? Example, if someone is teaching dance, people don't want to learn dance. People want to use dance as a way to remove depression, to be more active, to be healthy, to be more, to be a better public speaker, to be more outspoken, remove introvertness. So I think selling features is very easy. Selling benefits is very hard. And that's the difference between a Samsung and an Apple. So I just feel that you should, and secondly, your core, you should understand what is the core problem of the customer. So when we started Innovate, हमें बड़े लोगों ने कहा कि यार WeWork दारू बेचता है, आप दारू बेचना चालू करो. We said, we don't want to, because that was not problem of my customer. My customer does not want to drink alcohol at 12. What they want to, they might like it for 1 or 2 days. They don't want to do it every day. We realized that our customer wants 5 things. And talk to your customers. The easiest way to build a good PMF is talk to your customers on a daily basis. 5 चीजें हमने एक सर्वे किया इनोवेट में. This is very interesting. I thought people would care about light, about so many things, community, a lot of things. I was shocked to hear what people said. 5 consistent things about Innovate. They said that we will leave Innovate अगर ये 5 नहीं होंगी. मेरे को लगा सबसे पहले होगी बत्ती और वो. The first one was Wi-Fi.
Okay.
They said, you fuck up with your Wi-Fi and we are not going to come to you. Wi-Fi is it's a basic hygiene for a co-working. You have so many co-working spaces, beautiful, and Wi-Fi नीचे होता है ना, you don't like it. Second, I thought अब light बड़ी important होगी, वो था ही नहीं. Light was not in the top 5 actually. The second one was AC. We want चाहे बत्ती हो ना हो, वाईफाई हो और एसी हो, हम काम कर लेंगे. The third one, अब मुझे लगा कि कॉफी आएगा होएगा, कुछ नहीं. They said we want hygienic washrooms. And then we realized, and I quoted it, this, that if you want to know a man's character, talk to him for an hour. If you want to know a office's character, go to the washroom. Washrooms are dirtiest places in India.
Yeah.
And we said, yeah, because we use washrooms on a regular basis. And that experience, so what we started doing, हमारे washrooms में आप जाओ, we started giving Listerine, we started giving in sanitary pads, we started giving brush, we started giving in toothpaste, perfumes, just making it a very, and washrooms should be as hygienic as your washroom, as your bedrooms. The fourth one, we thought अब तो light आएगी या कुछ आएगा. We realized fourth one they needed was it should be near a metro station. And the fifth one was that you should do events to build the community part of it. So we realized that we focus on कि light कैसी होगी, fancy होगी, they don't care about it. अब normal light लगा दो, vibe अच्छी होनी चाहिए. So I think for entrepreneurs, I always tell them, see, and that is why entrepreneurs who build businesses on their own problems end up doing better, because they are very close to the problem. Be very close to the problem.
Yeah, so I like what you said, but एक problem है कि when let's say I have certain problem with XYZ stuff and I want to solve it, I might solve it for एक type के stakeholders. For example, I may be on the supplier side or maybe at the consumer side. मैं उस type का solve कर दूँगा क्योंकि मैं उस चीज़ का customer था. तो बाकी लोगों का कैसे solve होता है? So first thing is you learn from other industries, other competitors. But उसमें फिर second part आ जाता है कि ये competitors को beat कैसे करो? Because someone who's doing, let's say WeWork was an obvious competitor, right? How do innovate? How does innovate make sure कि मैं WeWork से ज़्यादा stand out करूँ?
So I'll tell you two things. One, and this is my kunji, this is my guide for fighting with people who have more war chest than you.
Okay.
You will always have this challenge. People will start businesses in your industry and they will have more capital than you have. The easiest way, and people think that it's very difficult to fight with them. It's very easy actually. The first thing that you do is stay silent. Today I'm talking about our competition. While building the business, I never used to talk about the competition. Don't give them limelight. Don't give them anything. They will spend a lot of money on entering the business. They will spend a lot of money on educating your customers about co-working. उस टाइम पे co-working कोई जानता नहीं था. आप Google Trends देखो, 2016 में जब WeWork India आया तब कोई जानता ही नहीं था.
Yeah.
And they started. In fact, we are grateful to WeWork that they started co-working in India because that legitimized the industry. तो जब भी ज़्यादा आ रहा है ना, उनको marketing करने दो. Don't say anything. The second is, Darwin's law is something which I really like. The theory of survival of the fittest. It is not the fastest who will survive. It is not the largest who will survive. It is the one that changes and adapts to the changing environment on a daily basis. That is why dinosaurs are no longer there. That is why whenever there is a fight between a leopard and a deer, ऐसा नहीं होता कि leopard हमेशा deer को खा जाता है. Because it's not the fastest. Because leopard is the fastest, but it can only run fast for a couple of seconds. But deer consistently, because he has to run for his life. So my only idea here is that don't fight with them, don't talk about them, but at the same time learn from them. People usually just sublime their competitors कि वो तो बेकार है. If you ask me today, what WeWork has created is beautiful, irrespective of all the challenges. But I think personally we have learned so much from WeWork, from the fact they were actually the builders of the co-working in the world.
Yeah.
So I think be open, learn from the competition, go to their centers and talk to their people. Spend time at WeWork. You will improve your business in ways unimaginable. And the third part is, if you can't do anything, no, the only thing where they cannot fight with you is the fact that we are a small business, we can be close to our customers. मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ, be like Ganesh ji, have large ears and a very small mouth. Learn from your customers, talk to them, and टेक फीडबैक्स. वीवर्क ये नहीं मुझसे अच्छा कर सकता, बिकॉज उनका फाउंडर बैठा हुआ है न्यूयॉर्क में. वो इंडिया शायद ही कभी एक बार आएगा, वो भी नेतागिरी करके चला जाएगा. मैं तो कस्टमर के साथ बैठ सकता हूँ. Can you personalize your brand and people? And this is I don't need to comment on this, but this is very simple. Personalized brands, people want to hear from the brands. They want to know. They don't want, they now they no longer just want to consume a brand. They want to consume the cult that comes with the brand, the thought process that comes with the brand. People don't want to consume what you are saying, maybe other creators are saying, but they want to they want to hear from your mouth, because they want to consume the cult of your thinking. So I think building, that is why community first brands, that is why you will never find Nike written anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Last time that I saw Nike written on a billboard was, I think, 2007 or 8.
उसके बाद फिर टिक है.
It's just that tick. Because, and Nike's vision statement is so beautiful. To be a source of innovation and empowerment to every athlete in the world. Now just imagine you're wearing Nike shoes. You're not an athlete, but they have an asterisk mark on athlete. और उसको नीचे उन्होंने लिखा हुआ है. For us, anyone who cares about being fit is an athlete. Now, this is so beautiful. If you just see this, I just believe that for every brand you need to be fundamentally, 3 चीजें होती हैं ब्रांड में. एक होता है कोर, एक होता है पोजिशनिंग, और एक होता है पर्सोना. अगर आप बुर्ज खलीफा को देखते हो दूर से, तो आपको नींव तो नहीं दिखती उसकी, ना आपको उसकी पोजीशनिंग दिखती है, आपको दिखता है उसका पर्सोना. ऊपर का सिर्फ एक छोटा सा डंडा दिखता है. आप पास आते हो तो आपको पोजीशनिंग दिखती है, और जब आप बेसमेंट में जाते हो तब जाके आपको वो दिखेगा कि फंडामेंटल्स क्या है. जिस बिल्डिंग की फंडामेंटल ठीक नहीं है ना, वो ठीक नहीं जा सकता. सो आई थिंक बिल्डिंग फंडामेंटल्स फ्रॉम डे वन. व्हाई आर यू डूइंग इट? अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल आस्क मी कि यार, when is a good time to start? I say the best time to start a business was yesterday. The next best time is now, provided you have a true value solving problem and you should be passionate about it. You should not start a business कि नहीं यार मेरे को, I started co-working because this was a genuine challenge for me. You are starting this because this might have been a genuine challenge for you. So Sarah Blakely, who's the founder of Spanx, said a very interesting thing. She said that the reason why I started Spanx was the fact that I was not able to find those kind of pantyhose which I wanted to sell to the world. So I think वो बड़ा important है. You should, if you're not passionate about the problem, no, you will quit because it's hard. But once you are passionate about the problem, मैं day one पे आपको फोटो बताता हूँ. 2015 की बात है. I just got engaged to my wife, and me and my wife were screwing up the chairs at Innovate, and we realized that because we are so passionate about the fact that humans should be productive.
So now that you believe in being passionate, you believe in becoming a problem solver of your own problem. A lot of people get into it because they want to create wealth. A lot of people get into it because it's very fancy celebrating. So is that wrong?
I won't say it's wrong, but you will not achieve success if you just enter it because it is fancy, because it's not fancy. It's the hardest job you'll ever do, maybe after politics.
So, like, people look at shows like Shark Tank and they feel
no, it's see, Shark Tank and all are great shows, by the way, but I really respect Shark Tank because they've actually institutionalized the concept of starting up in India at large scale. That being said, those are shows. There's a reason they are called shows. They need to feed India. It's like media. That being said, life is not like Shark Tank. Life is not, and people, entrepreneurs who make it big, if you enter their underbelly, if you enter their life, their life is not easy. It looks very fancy. It's not. So people who just do it for the sake of fanciness and money, they do not make money. That I can guarantee.
Okay, so you invest in a lot of startups and you have been a very early backer of Indian economy, Indian startups and everywhere, right? What do you think? What fails and what succeeds?
I think purpose is very important. Why you are starting? I always ask founders, why are you starting this? A lot of people say, nahi yaar, markets are hot to start this. I never invest in them. I need to understand कि यार, is there a deeper reason for that person to start? There's a Harvard alum. She started a snacks business. And she said, I started because I lost my mother because of diabetes. Because when you are fighting for a larger impact goal, that I don't want people like me to not have mothers just because of diabetes. 8% देश को diabetes है. जब वो motivation आ जाती है ना, then you don't quit. Then you just focus on the fact that I want to make this, irrespective of money coming here, money getting dry, money getting flushed. I'm going to stick to this phenomenon and I'm going to make this big.
The bigger purpose. But okay, Warren Buffett has said this, okay, that this is the hard truth. When it comes to a good operator or a good founder versus good market, always invest in good market because market tests the founders. Do you believe in this? Because now that if you like founder, you are passionate about the product, but if the market is downturned, the founder might fail.
100%. I think market is extremely important, but so the difference here is I don't invest to make money. My thesis is very different. The reason that I invest is to create impact. I have no intent to make even a single penny from my startup investments. The day I invest into companies, I actually call myself burnt capital. I make money from a lot of different sources. With startups, I don't intend to make money. I don't even have a single unicorn in my portfolio. Not even a single unicorn. Out of 100 companies, एक भी unicorn नहीं है. The reason is I invest in founders who might not build 7,000 crore valued companies, but who will build profitable or near profitable HQ level companies which have a lot of substance.
The impact is high.
Impact is high.
Tell me, what is the hard truth about startup world which people don't know about? That like this is one thing with everybody is getting wrong, and why you don't know.
So one is, I think the hard truth is making money is way harder than it looks. It looks very simple. It's very hard. Usually you don't make money in startups, neither as an investor nor as a founder, usually. That being said, another hard truth is because of so much money being flushed into the ecosystem, talent poaching has become a big challenge. Today, the average span of a technology person in your team is hardly months.
Yeah.
So I just feel that while the party was good, but now things will be hard. Very confident they will not be able to.
So what's the easy way to, now I'm going to ask you both the questions again, both the problem. What's the easy way to make money?
Easy way to make money is to
how do people create
be
wealth?
Patient. Be very patient. If you want to make good amount of money in startups, be patient. Don't chase valuations. People unfortunately chase a lot of valuations and they actually dig their own grave. And you have to realize, the day you get a valuation of 1,000 crores, the next round you cannot do at less than 1,000 crores. And that is why being rational with valuations is extremely important. The second part is that people think that valuations are important, but they are not. Technically speaking, it won't matter. Whether you are valued at 1,000 crores or 100 crores or 500 crores, in the long run, it won't matter. Paytm was valued at, when they started, they actually sold 50% of the business, I think, to someone. 50%. So, obviously, it was a big thing, but finally they bought it back. So, I just feel that wo na baad mein ho jata hai. Everything will correct. By the end of the day, when regular customers, that is the IPO or the regular customers of the Bombay Stock Exchange, when they value you, that is your true value. So I just feel that go slow. Don't worry about valuations because they won't make a difference. आज 1,000 करोड़ की वैल्यूएशन पे पैसा मिल रहा है, आपकी जेब में नहीं आ रहा ना वो पैसा, वो कंपनी में आ रहा है. आपका ज्यादा फोकस होना चाहिए. You're thinking about the wrong things. You should focus on how do I create fiduciary discipline. How do I create a budget? How do I create a plan to spend this money? When people get money, they just go all blaze out.
Yeah.
They just want कि हम ये hire कर लेते हैं. They don't have a plan. Can you build an anti-fragile plan where, and think, and Murphy's law, startup is all about what may go wrong will go wrong, and I'm very confident about this. मतलब when I started a startup, मेरे को लगा था कि यार whenever you start anything, no, because you do it because of your heart, you get so emotional about it कि ना आप नेगेटिव सुन ही नहीं सकते.
Yeah.
मैंने अभी एक अपार्टमेंट लिया तो किसी ने मुझे कहा कि ये बेकार इन्वेस्टमेंट है. मैं उसको ही बेवकूफ समझता हूँ कि तेरे को पता नहीं है मैं विजनरी हूँ. Because we don't want to listen. Our logic will always get defied when emotions are involved. So when I started investing into startups, I thought 2 साल में पैसा वापस आ जाएगा. It took me 7 years to get my first angel investment return. 7 years. So I just realized that though the quantum was like 50, 60, 70x, but I realized that it'll take time. But if you are patient, you are going to make a lot of money. And whether it is investing, whether it is career choice, be patient and compound. Every day, your energy should compound.
How do you make sure that your talent doesn't leave you?
Culture. People don't want to work for more money. People want to work for great culture. People who are leaving companies, necessarily 90% of them are not doing it only because of money. The right culture will always be the cornerstone of every development or every human resource development team in the world. And I think culture is something when your core values, purpose, vision align with the purpose, vision of the teams. The easiest way to build relationships, be it your customer, vendor, investor, is to build common pursuits. We don't usually, it's not that someone drinks, I don't mingle with them. But the moment someone says, I don't drink, I'm like, yaar, bhai hai tu. The moment
that vibe comes out.
That vibe comes out. The moment someone says कि नहीं यार, like I don't care about valuations. The moment someone says, यार क्या बात कर, बैठना तू मेरे साथ. The moment someone says कि नहीं यार, मैं तो इस valuation पे sticky हूँ, मैं इससे नीचे नहीं raise करूँगा. मैं कहता हूँ चल यार कोई बात नहीं, अपनी बनने वाली नहीं है. So I think common pursuit and culture का जो culture is intangible. It's in the air. Culture पता है कैसे? How do I define culture is when I was 5 years old, my father used to tell कि अगर आपसे कोई बड़ा आ जाता है तो आपको पाँव छूना है. So what I used to do is when my father was there, then तो I used to touch the feet. But when my father was not there, then I did not used to touch the feet. One day what happened? My father was observing me from the back, but I thought he's not there. I didn't touch the feet. My father said, बेटा मैं आपको देख रहा था, आपने है ना टच नहीं किया, ये तो गलत कल्चर है. उसके बाद से है ना मेरे फादर हैं या नहीं है, मैं हमेशा टच करूंगा कोई मेरे से बड़ा आ जाएगा तो. So that is a culture. Culture is what happens when the owner is not there in the room. I think that is very important.
To that, and building that
is the hardest
part. Because
it's based on respect, mutual admiration, honesty, trust, loyalty, long-term feedback. There's so many things to it.
It's so difficult. I can feel that because I know. So sometimes, and you know what happens, the worst is you have an idea of how your company and people are versus how they are.
Yeah.
Like, and that's when things go really, really wrong because you feel कि यार ये जो problem है ना मेरी टीम में भले हर चीज आ जाए ये problem तो नहीं आएगी, and next day वही problem आती, and that becomes the problem very hard. So you think that is, if we read more, if we understand more and try to inculcate those abilities, that will be able to solve it.
100%. I think culture is a byproduct of your brand exercise. The day you build your purpose and vision, no, you will be, and ek aur bada interesting, and this is something which I always tell people, your first 20 hires are going to build the culture. You never build the culture alone. It's always a team. So a lot of people ask me, how do we? I've hired wrong people. I realized the easiest way to hire good people is, instead of doing, because people lie on their CVs. 90% people lie on their CVs. CVs are the worst way of hiring now. The best way is, सीनियर हायर है ना, उसको है ना बोलो क्या पसंद है तेरे को, बैडमिंटन पसंद है, बास्केटबॉल पसंद है, जो पसंद है मेरे को बता, क्रिकेट पसंद है, उसके साथ ना आप एक बार बैडमिंटन का गेम खेल लो. 6 घंटे में वो बैठ के है ना आपसे झूठ बोल सकता है बिकॉज ही इज नॉट स्ट्रेस्ड, वो माइंड गेम प्ले कर सकता है. लेकिन आधे घंटे की बैडमिंटन में जब वो स्ट्रेस में होगा ना, ही विल टेक आउट हिज ट्रू फॉर्म. आप सिर्फ वो रिकॉर्ड करो, और आप देखो कि वो स्ट्रेस में किस तरीके के उसके जेस्चर हैं, उसका क्या, व्हेन ही वाज अंडर स्ट्रेस हाउ वाज ही बिहेविंग, वाज ही कॉकी अबाउट लूजिंग? आप 2 मिनट में बता दोगे कि नहीं यार, पुट पीपल अंडर स्ट्रेस टू नो देयर ट्रू कल्चर, नहीं तो पीपल लाई, 90% of the times people lie.
That's a good way to test who to hire, who
Yeah.
to not. That's a great way to have.
And as such, in your teams play sports every month. मैं तो इतना आई एम सो मैड अबाउट इट, मैंने अपने फार्म पे फुल फ्लेजेड क्रिकेट स्टेडियम बना दिया और एक गोल्फिंग रिंक बना दिया, आई एक बैडमिंटन कोर्ट बना दिया, बिकॉज माई टीम्स नीड टू प्ले. आई रियलाइज स्पोर्ट्स इज इट्स you again you build cult, it's an enabler for cohesion. At the same time you get healthy, and at the same time you start noticing trends कि यार कौन आदमी है, because as a founder you need to see between the lines who's here for the money, who's here for the because एक आदमी, one bad fish will rotten the entire pond.
Do you remember of any one thing where it got very hard for you in your journey and you were like कि अगर ये मेरे साथ नहीं होता तो शायद मैं ये लेसन ही नहीं सीखता, ऐसा कुछ हुआ है कभी?
हाँ, always. I think every time a bad investment, bad hiring, extremely poor choice of property, extremely poor, हर दिन होता है, मतलब आज भी हुआ, मतलब it's something that,
एक एग्जांपल कोई जो बहुत ही ऐसा था खराब कि यार इस टाइम पे.
okay, pandemic was hard. As a family,
But you sold your business before pandemic, right?
but we were doing a lot of things in real estate post selling, and at that point in time also I was still the head of Innovate.
Okay.
So pandemic was hard. When it comes to our family businesses is which we built, we have a hospitality business, that was hard, and we took a call that हमारे जितने employees हैं, we will not even fire or deduct even a single penny salary of any of the employees. So the thing, they were hard decisions, but by the end of the day you don't find these hard, because the more hardships you face, the more, so it's very simple. अगर आपने एक बार लॉन्ग जंप कर लिया 8 मीटर का, एग्जाम्पल बोल रहा हूँ, तो आप ना उसके बाद 8 तो आपको कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाएगा. ह्यूमन माइंड क्या है ना, वी हैव इट्स अ ग्लास चेम्बर. अगर आपको लगेगा ना कि यार इतना ही मैं कर सकता हूँ तो उतना ही कर पाओगे आप. अगर आपको लगेगा कि नहीं यार मैं 1000 करोड़ कमा सकता हूँ तो आप 1000 कमा लोगे. अगर आपको लगेगा मैं 10,000 कमा सकता हूँ, जो आप चाहोगे वो मिल जाएगा. द क्वेश्चन इज 99% of the people of the world, they feel themselves to be so ill confident to think of a large dream that they don't, and that is why they just achieve. मैं आपको बताऊं, मैं जब 26 years का था, MBBS करने के बाद 2 साल के बाद, when I was a vagabond, मैंने अपने पर्स में लिखा था कि मेरे को है ना 250 करोड़ रुपए कमाने हैं अपनी लाइफ में बाय द टाइम आई टर्न 30. एंड उस टाइम पे जब मैं लिख भी रहा था ना, मेरे हाथ कांप रहे थे कि ये होगा नहीं कभी. मेरे को आज ये मलाल है यार, मैं 2,500 करोड़ लिखता ना तो शायद वो भी कमा लेता. आई रियलाइज दैट वट एवर यू राइट नो, वट एवर यू थिंक यू आर वर्थ, यू आर एक्चुअली वर्थ दैट. Your worth is actually first in your mind. Whatever happens, it happens twice. Once it happens in your mind, and then it happens in reality.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Good and bad, both.
No, it does make sense. Last 2 questions I have. Okay. One of them is, you travel a lot,
Yes.
right? Have you have you noticed something in some other country which is really fascinating to you? कि वो इंडिया में नहीं और बाहर वैसी चीज है.
बहुत सारी है, मतलब I think India really needs to improve. नहीं तो India is going to see a lot of exodus of taxpayers in the country. I think as a country, we really need to learn from so many countries.
Example.
UAE, मतलब classic example. रेगिस्तान में क्या बना दिया उन लोगों ने, मतलब it's a classic example of grit and human will. Do you know how much money they earn from oil? 0.99%, 1% they earn from oil. मतलब just imagine, आपको पता है UAE में कितने टूरिस्ट आते हैं एक साल में? 41 लाख, 4.1 मिलियन. आपको पता है इंडिया में कितने आते हैं? 3.9. UAE is bloody 2.5% of India's size.
Yeah.
और रेगिस्तान, इतनी गर्मी, टूरिस्ट में हमारे पास ताजमहल है. So what I'm saying is that, and we are a beautiful country. We really need to, जैसे आपने दीपक ने बड़ी अच्छी बात बोली कि हमें डॉलर रेवेन्यू चाहिए. easiest way of dollar revenue is tourism. The day we do this 5x, आपका वैसे ही सारी ट्रेजरी भर जाएगी, क्योंकि टूरिस्ट आदमी आके बहुत पैसा खर्चा करता है.
So you think we don't put enough efforts in?
Absolutely not. You as a tourist, क्या you tell me, is it's not safe to be a tourist in India. It's
For Indians, it's not safe.
it's not.
Forget.
So I just feel as a country we need to feel more safer. We need to come above the communal violence. ये ना पता है, जब तक हिंदू मुसलमान का इशू नहीं सॉल्व होएगा ना, while it serves the political parties very well, it is truly degrading for the country. आज भी किसी ने कुछ, मैं इन शॉर्ट्स पढ़ रहा था, कोई राइट हो गया, किसी ने कुछ कर दिया. It's just that, मतलब चलो कश्मीर में तो इशू भी समझ में आता है. दिस इज ब्लेटेंट, दिस इज नॉट इवन, मतलब नाउ जस्ट इमेजिन अगर कल को खुदा न खास्ता ताजमहल के नीचे मंदिर निकल आता है, ताजमहल थोड़ी ना हटा दोगे. मतलब दिस इज नॉट, these are not things where the country should focus anymore. We should truly focus on what is there for our country, and see, we are going to see the largest human resource crisis by 2028.
Like
Largest.
in just 5 years.
Yeah.
In our country
In
or
our
the world?
country, in our country specifically.
And why human resource? Because we are the land of humans. Like,
So
we have
the-
so many people here.
The biggest crisis we are going to face is the fact that there will not be enough jobs. There won't be enough jobs because businesses in our country, and also skill gap इतना ज़्यादा हो जाएगा कि because of our education system we are not able to produce enough. आज भी अगर हम अपने इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेजेस देखें, forget the top 2 or 3%, the remaining 98 to 97% engineering colleges are माशाल्लाह है, मतलब एकदम. So I think we really need to focus on human resource development, unlearning, relearning, reskilling, and micro entrepreneurship is so important. अभी भी उसके ऊपर कम focus है in my opinion.
So that's the...
And also, see, just imagine the government is focusing on a metric के हमारे 100 unicorns हो गए. That's the worst metric to focus on. How do you focus on a metric which is a fallacy? यूनिकॉर्न का कोई मतलब थोड़ी ना है. आज मैंने अगर आपको 20 करोड़ दे दिए 7,000 करोड़ की वैल्यूएशन पे, तो आप 101वें यूनिकॉर्न हो गए. प्राइवेट प्लेसमेंट्स आर नॉट यूनिकॉर्न्स. यूनिकॉर्न शुड बी इन प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी. आप यूनिकॉर्न मत बनो. यू बिकम ब्लडी 100th of a unicorn but in profitability. You become 100th of a unicorn but in true impact, in revenues. There are a lot of startups who have not even 20 crore ka revenue, and I know, and they are a unicorn. And terms like GMV and all, in my opinion, are scam. I might be wrong totally. I'm not at all conservative there, so I don't know, but I just don't understand that.
Okay. Now, the last question, which was again in the startup world only. So when you look at Silicon Valley, right, there have been businesses, the same ideology we follow. There have been places where for 5 years, businesses and startups have been running in losses, and then eventually they turn into something big and something good. So what's happening in Silicon Valley which we are not being able to replicate, और वो इंडिया में नहीं हो पा रहा है? ऐसा क्यों?
5 साल में ना वो प्रॉफिटेबल बन जाते हैं, इंडिया में नहीं बनते. इंडिया में जो लॉस मेकिंग है वो ऐसा नहीं है कि आज से लॉस मेकिंग है. वो लॉस मेकिंग पिछले सदियों से है. A company that got listed at New York Stock Exchange, it's in the travel tech space, that's loss making for a very long period of time. So I agree that Amazon has a beautiful story for that, but Amazon has also, it is a market leader. We need to see that, are you bleeding just for the sake? And also what happens is that these markets keep on correcting. So I just feel that in India today, and even in the US mein, you are seeing a massive companies. Dropbox has lost 73% of its value.
Yeah.
73% of its value is Uber. Uber तो मतलब हमेशा ही अपने प्राइस पॉइंट से नीचे ही है जो IPO हुआ था.
Coinbase
So
recently.
I just feel that Amazon has lost 39% of its value. So I just feel, and these are large companies. Amazon is one of the largest companies in the world. So I just feel that this correction is good, very good. While as an investor, we have lost a lot of money, but it's a good correction. people should focus on profitability. I think profitability will ensure all stakeholders are happy, and at least unit level profitability.
So that's one of the major reasons why in India people are not able to make profits, because make sustainable businesses, because we don't focus on profits.
And our CAC is way too high. और क्योंकि हमारे देश में क्या है ना, we have a flat pyramid. हमारा कस्टमर इज सो प्राइस सेंसिटिव, आप उसको खरीदते हो मार्केट से 300 रुपए में, इन्वेस्टर को ये दिखा के कि इसकी लाइफ टाइम वैल्यू 30,000 रुपए है, वो आपको देता 30 रुपए, और उसके बाद जैसे किसी और प्लेटफॉर्म ने उसको 300 में खरीदा और कहा मैं तेरे को 50 रुपए का कैशबैक दूंगा, 350 में खरीदा, वो उसके पास शिफ्ट हो जाएगा. यूएस में ब्रांड लॉयल्टी इज वेरी हाई. इन इंडिया वी डोंट हैव दैट. We don't care. If you ask me today, you care कि आपको ये माइक खरीदना है. You don't care कि मैं Amazon से खरीद रहा हूँ, Flipkart से खरीद रहा हूँ, या कहाँ से खरीद रहा हूँ.
Yeah.
So in America.
And मैं प्राइस कंपेयर करूँगा 4 प्लेटफॉर्म पे और फिर लेके आऊँगा.
And in America, it's a different story. In America, there is no other competitor than Amazon. There is no other player which is the second largest e-commerce store in America. Tell me. You don't have an answer to that because there's no Flipkart. There is no Snapdeal. There's no these smaller ones.
तो इसका सोल्यूशन कुछ नहीं है.
एक दो सोल्यूशन है. सबसे पहला ये, इंडिया की मार्केट समझना चाहिए कि इंडिया प्राइस सेंसिटिव मार्केट है. What we try to do, and this is a mistake I made. हमने जब पहला कैंपस लॉन्च किया, हमने कहा 16,000 रुपए की सीट बेचेंगे. एक आदमी टर्न अप नहीं हुआ. The day we engineered our model कि हम 8,000 रुपए में बेचेंगे, तो entire market exploded. The reason we became a household brand was the fact that India के अंदर price sensitivity is here and other things are here. And this is if you want to increase your TAM. बाकी वो 5-10 मिलियन लोग ऐसे हैं जो आप कुछ भी बेचो कितने भी प्राइस पे, वो तो खरीदेंगे, लेकिन उससे आप बड़ा बिजनेस नहीं बना पाते. If you want to build a large business, you need to ensure that your TAM, if your price point is extremely sensitive. India is such a price sensitive market, you can't even imagine. मतलब इतनी price sensitive, sorry I'm cutting you short, इतनी price sensitive market है कि यहाँ पर restaurant expenditure between 7th and 12th is the highest. That means what? कि लोगों को पगार मिलती है 7 तारीख को, तो 7 से 12 तारीख तक वो सबसे ज्यादा खर्चा करते हैं. उसके बाद फिर वो डिप्लीट होते जाते हैं और लास्ट वीक में रेस्टोरेंट सेल्स आर द मिनिमम. आई एम जस्ट टेलिंग दैट वो इट्स अ वेरी वेरी प्राइस सेंसिटिव मार्केट.
सो एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन है प्राइस सेंसिटिविटी पे. डू यू फील द नेक्स्ट लेवल ऑफ बिजनेसेस और नेक्स्ट वेव ऑफ बिजनेस पीपल शुड स्टार्ट बिल्डिंग बिजनेसेस फॉर द extreme massy level or mass premium level?
So see there are three
because
models.
the premium is extreme premium which you feel कि वो 5 million customers है, उन पे हजारों ब्रांड पीछे पड़ी क्योंकि वो सब खरीद लेते हैं, उनकी लॉयल्टी जीरो है, right? So we go one level down. We want this mass premium and then extreme massy.
तीन इसका एनालॉजी बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग है. या तो आप 75 लाख हीरो बेच लो, जो हीरो की बाइक्स आती हैं, या आप 7.5 लाख रॉयल इनफील्ड बेच लो, या आप 75,000 हार्ले डेविडसन बेच लो. तीनों के ना एंड रिजल्ट सेम है. द क्वेश्चन इज वेयर डू यू वांट टू लैंड. इंडिया के सो आई ऑलवेज टेल दिस टू फाउंडर्स, डोंट बिल्ड फॉर इंडिया अलोन. Build for, if you are building for India, search for markets which are like India, Indonesia, similar. If you are building for India, search for markets. It's अगर आप इंडिया के प्रीमियम में जा रहे हो तो आप दुबई में भी बेच सकते हो, सिमिलर मार्केट सेगमेंटेशन. अगर आपको इंडिया में ही बेचना है तो लाइक यू शुड बिल्ड अ प्रोडक्ट विच इज अ ग्लोबल प्रोडक्ट. एंड द गुड पार्ट विद टेक्नोलॉजी इज टुडे यू कैन. एंड आई थिंक बिल्डिंग अ ग्लोबल, क्योंकि यूएसए के अंदर 10x का फर्क आ जाता है. सब्सक्रिप्शन बेस्ड जो SaaS बेस्ड कंपनीज हैं, अगर इंडिया में कोई कस्टमर इनको $1 दे रहा है, यूएसए में वो $10 से $12 देता है सेम प्रोडक्ट के लिए. सो प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी इज ह्यूज एंड खर्चा उतना ही है. सो आई जस्ट फील यू शुड बिल्ड फॉर द वर्ल्ड टू इंक्रीज योर मार्केट सेगमेंटेशन. Superhuman is a email company, email management company. Yeah. They charge $30. इंडिया में कुछ भी नहीं है उनका कस्टमर बेस. यूएस में it's huge, but they have said हमें इंडिया जाना ही नहीं है ना. So saying a no is so important. Founders don't say no. They want to sell कि नहीं यार मैं रिक्शा वाले को भी बेचूंगा. Don't sell यार, that's not उस तक, क्योंकि हर कस्टमर का सेगमेंट में जाने के लिए आपको खर्चा करना है.
So the solution for that is build in India for the world.
Yes. For the similar types of markets.
Hmm.
मैकडोनल्ड्स और स्टारबक्स ने आई थिंक लेट 90s में एक पार्टनरशिप की एंड दे सेड दैट मैकडोनल्ड्स सेल्स फूड आइटम्स, स्टारबक्स सेल्स कॉफी, एंड ऑब्वियसली लोग खाने के लिए आ रहे हैं, लोग दोनों ले लेंगे, उनका रेंटल कॉस्ट बच जाएगा और कस्टमर को बार बार अलग अलग जगहों पे नहीं डिबेट करना पड़ेगा. लॉजिकली स्पीकिंग इन उस टाइम पे है ना बड़ा अच्छा डिसीजन लग रहा था. इट वाज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग पार्टनरशिप एंड दे स्टार्टेड रोलिंग इट आउट. इट फेल्ड मैसिवली. द रीजन वाज जो कस्टमर मैकडोनल्ड्स जाता है ना वो स्टारबक्स नहीं जाता, और जो कस्टमर स्टारबक्स जाता है वो मैकडोनल्ड्स नहीं जाता. इट्स वेरी सिंपल. हमारे ना माइंड में कुछ ना प्राइस गैप्स लगे हुए हैं. मैं स्टारबक्स जाता हूं ना, मैं मैकडोनल्ड्स बहुत कम जाता हूं. इंटरेस्टिंगली जो आदमी स्टारबक्स जाता है वो मैकडोनल्ड्स को घर पे ऑर्डर कर देगा. उसको मैकडोनल्ड्स जाना उसको तौहीन लगती है, क्योंकि उसको लगता है कि यार सस्ती जगह. नाउ वो इतना बड़ा फेलियर हुआ. मैकडोनल्ड्स केम आउट विद अनदर पार्टनरशिप. दे सेड लेट अस पार्टनर विद डिज्नी. एंड अगेन लेट 90s दे सेड ये तो चल ही नहीं सकता. डिज्नी की होम थिएटर, ये आपके क्या नाम है, अम्यूजमेंट पार्क्स में है, मूवीज में है, टॉयज में, इन सब में है, और मैकडोनल्ड्स खाने में ये क्यों चलेगा? दैट वर्कड वेरी वेल बिकॉज एंड दैट वाज द कॉन्सेप्शन ऑफ हैप्पी मील. And if you know, McDonald's is the place where maximum number of birthdays are celebrated just because of that particular partnership, because of toys, because of. So the thing is, TGs जब सेम होते हैं ना, तब ना आपको, क्योंकि हमें लगता है कि यार हम अपना प्रोडक्ट, बिकॉज एज फाउंडर्स वी आर वेरी पैशनेट, हमें लगता है हम अपना प्रोडक्ट सबको बेच सकते हैं. हम इतने ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट हो जाते हैं. टेक्निकली स्पीकिंग ना हमें सबको बेचना भी नहीं चाहिए. हमें सिर्फ एक स्पेसिफिक टाइप का, उसका आप कस्टमर से पूछो क्या खाता है, कहाँ जाता है, क्यों जाता है, क्या करता है. द डे यू नो योर टीजी, 99% ऑफ बैटल इज वन देयर. बिकॉज फिर ना आप फेसबुक पे वही एज ग्रुप डालोगे, वही सेक्स डालोगे, वही उसकी इनकम ग्रुप डालोगे. अब जैसे हमारा बड़ा सिंपल था कि हमें एस्पिरेशनल प्रोडक्ट बनाना है फॉर मासेस, बट एस्पिरेशनल, हमें हार्ले डेविडसन नहीं जाना, ना हमें हीरो जाना है, हमें जाना है रॉयल इनफील्ड. मीडियम स्केल लग्जरी. Innovate will not look like a simple sort of a co-working player. We will look like a very heavy on design and extremely sexy ambience, good ACs and all. And we said हमारे को है ना कहाँ जाना है, हमारा कस्टमर किस टाइप का है. हमने कहा हमें स्टारबक्स का कस्टमर लेना है. दुनिया में सबसे ज्यादा कम स्टोर बंद होते हैं स्टारबक्स के. हमने कहा कि एक हमारा सिंपल डिसीजन मैट्रिक्स है, जहां स्टारबक्स है उसके 5 मिनट के वॉकिंग डिस्टेंस पे है तो हम जगह लेंगे, नहीं तो नहीं लेंगे. It's as simple as that. So you start building product analogies and you start taking help from Starbucks की टीम को पता भी नहीं होगा कि यार हम उनसे इतनी हेल्प ले रहे हैं. उनकी 300 लोगों की रियल एस्टेट की टीम है, मैं तो अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकता. उन्होंने कहीं कोई जगह खोली है तो सोच समझ के ही खोली होगी. हम लोग ज्यादा सोचते ही नहीं है. 5 मिनट का वॉकिंग डिस्टेंस है अक्रॉस ऑल इनोवेट्स. 5 मिनट का वॉकिंग डिस्टेंस स्टारबक्स है.
नाइस. That's a great way to think and align your DG, और उसके बाद फिर आपका बहुत प्रॉब्लम बच जाता है. नाइस. एक क्वेश्चन था कि you said कि build global products, build in India for the world, right? For similar markets in the world. But why is that like that? कि India की ज़्यादा कोई global brands है ही नहीं. Like if you see, we talk about McDonald's, we talk about Starbucks, they are cultural shifts. Like they formed cultures in India. India was not a coffee drinking market. Now the urban India started drinking coffee. India was not a burger consuming market. Now for us it's like an everyday thing. Coca-Cola, हमारी जो like we used to drink Rasna, Jaljeera, we have completely like just we've forgotten all of that and we drink Coke and Pepsi. So there's a lot of culture we learn from Western world. Do you think India का कोई ऐसा ब्रांड अभी तक बन क्यों नहीं पाया?
So अभी सबसे बड़ा उसका रीजन ये है, so as brands mature they look for future growth. If you see any sort of quarterly revenue report of any corporation, उनको है ना आज की प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी से ज्यादा ये लगता है कि कल का ग्रोथ कैसे होगी प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी की. सो वाइल कोका कोला इज मैसिवली प्रॉफिटेबल, Amazon is massively profitable in the US, they now are looking out for areas जहां पर ना मिडिल इनकम बढ़ने वाली है. एंड जो पहले इन्वेस्ट करना चालू कर, दिस इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. मासा टोल्ड अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग. ही सेड दैट आज से 20 साल पहले टेलीकॉम इकोनॉमी का शेयर लेने के लिए इंडिया में 700 करोड़ रुपए खर्चा करना पड़ता था। आज 1% शेयर लेने के लिए 70,000 करोड़ रुपए का खर्चा करना पड़ता है। बिकॉज द अर्लियर यू अक्वायर द मार्केट, द बेटर इट इज फॉर यू. So that is why all these companies want to come. Starbucks is a negative cash flow business. They are not making profit in India, but they will make profit. They are looking at, जब इंडिया मैच्योर हो जाएगा, चाइना मैच्योर हो जाएगा, वो चले जाएंगे अफ्रीका में. Continuously this cycle of इंडिया का चैलेंज क्या है? We don't have profits. We don't have profit. हमारे प्रॉफिट्स, आप ये बताओ कंज्यूमर ब्रांड में कौन सा प्रॉफिटेबल कंपनी है तमीज की जिसका स्केल हो? हमारे प्रॉफिट्स कहाँ पे है? मिनरल्स में है. हमारे प्रॉफिट्स कहाँ पे है? ऑयल में है. हमारे प्रॉफिट्स कहाँ पे है? टेलीकॉम में है. बट वी टिपिकली वी डोंट हैव प्रॉफिट्स. हमारे प्रॉफिट्स रियल एस्टेट में है. हमारे प्रॉफिट्स एयरपोर्ट लीजिंग में, इंफ्रा में. बट टिपिकली इफ यू सी आवर कंपनीज, वी डोंट हैव सस्टेनेबल प्रॉफिट मार्जिन्स. और वो मार्जिन इसलिए नहीं होते क्योंकि पहले तो इसलिए नहीं थे कि थे ही नहीं. अब जब ब्रांड्स बने हैं तो ये सब प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं, इनका प्रॉफिट मार्जिन अगेन अमेजोन खा जाता है. आज आपको एक D2C ब्रांड खोलना है, 29% अमेजोन लेके जाता है, 29%. आप सोचो, यू आर पेइंग 29% ऑफ योर रेवेन्यू. अगेन उनका प्रॉफिट बढ़ता जाएगा धीमे धीमे, एंड दे विल ऑलवेज कीप यू कैप्ड. एंड बिकॉज दीज आर मोनोपोलिस्टिक बिजनेसेस, दे विल कंटिन्यूअसली inch by inch increase their prices.
So do you think it's a bad place to start a consumer business right now?
Not a bad place, just that
risky place, tough place.
It's tough to do anything in India. It's tough to be everything in India. मतलब ये ना मेरा अपना belief है, and I'll be very candid about it. बाकी मुल्कों में गरीब होना मुश्किलात होता है, इंडिया में अमीर होना मुश्किलात है. So India as a country, it's a very hostile country to do anything. So building, आप LLP बनाने चले जाओ आज, LLP का पोर्टल बंद है 3 महीने से. आप LLP में कोई नहीं चेंज कर सकते इस वक्त. 3 महीने से पोर्टल बंद है LLP का. What I'm saying is that India is a hostile country. First of all, we should know this. And because it's a hostile country, opportunities are there, but you need to really, like, the amount of hard work that you do here, and if you get X, you would have gotten 10X there outside India. So it's just that consumer businesses, D2C and all are great opportunities, but you ask me, who is making money in D2C? People in D2C are basically making money for 40%, and Google और Facebook ले जाता है एडवर्टीजमेंट का, बचा हुआ % वो Amazon ले जाता है. उसके बाद आपकी हेड काउंट हो जाती है. आदमी 9-10 सिंगल डिजिट प्रॉफिट मार्जिन पे आदमी कहाँ से बिजनेस चलाएगा? सो जब तक इसके लिए गवर्नमेंट इज कमिंग आउट वेरी गुड पॉलिसीज. एग्जाम्पल UPI वॉज अ ग्रेट वन. एग्जाम्पल अभी ये जो ई कॉमर्स के लिए लेवल प्लेइंग पॉलिसी लेके आ रहे हैं. सो द आइडिया इज वी नीड टू रियली एम्पावर, एंड वी नीड टू बी अहेड ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी रादर देन कैचिंग अप विद इट. एंड जैसे US में तो एंटी ट्रस्ट हियरिंग्स होती हैं, CEO को बिठा देते हैं कि भैया बताओ इसका क्या हुआ. इंडिया के अंदर कोई है ही नहीं एंटी ट्रस्ट. सो वी आर एक्चुअली बिल्डिंग एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कॉल्ड ADIF, Alliance for Digital India Foundation, to check these kind of monopolistic behavior. And Android का 96% मार्केट शेयर है. वो कोई भी पॉलिसी ले आए, यू हैव टू एक्सेप्ट इट.
या बिकॉज कोई ऑप्शन ही नहीं है. पूरा मार्केट, पूरा हर चीज, it's gone there.
बिल्कुल.
Is it also the reason मैं एक न्यूज़ पढ़ रहा था अभी थोड़े दिन पहले इन शॉर्ट्स पे ही कि I thought 1,771 tax millionaires have flown away from India to find or apply dual residency.
Yeah.
So is it also a reason? Because it's so difficult, because it's so hostile, people who have made money or made wealth, now they understand that if they put in the effort with the money which they have in some other countries, it'll be easier for them to.
हाँ, मतलब a lot of people are looking at, see, India is a land of opportunity. They want to do business in India, but at the same time, India also, there is a chance that India can go towards it's a two-edged sword. We have hostile neighbors from everywhere. पहले तो नेपाल कुछ नहीं बोलता था, तो नेपाल भी बोलने लग गया. तो मतलब what I'm saying is, there's not even a single neighbor which is extremely cordial with us.
Yeah.
We have and almost like 2 of our largest border sharing neighbors are equipped
China and
nuclearly. At the same time, we have disputed territories. At the same time, we have very fragile and a very emotional population.
Hmm.
2 मिनट के अंदर है ना ट्विटर पे हिंदू मुसलमान का विवाद खड़ा हो जाता है. दे डोंट थिंक, दे very deeply engraved, and that is why Bollywood works very well. जो मैंने आपको स्टोरी बताई ना, हीरो चैलेंज हो, this is a Indians are very emotional, तो they get very labile very quickly कि हमारे रामलला को ऐसे किया था उन्होंने. So and they get swayed by conversations and content. The future, I'll tell you what is, in my opinion, what will happen is these large distribution technology platforms will control how India thinks. जो आप दिखाओगे, because by the end of the day, what people see, they will make their mind.
Yeah.
So hermit kingdom यही तो है. So I just feel that people really need to have their own mind. They should really, and for that they need to be analytical. Our education system does not allow you to question. टीचर से क्वेश्चन नहीं हम लोग पूछ सकते. टीचर गुस्सा हो गया तो मेरे को पास नहीं करेगा. सो आई थिंक फंडामेंटली एजुकेशन एंड हेल्थ केयर आर द 2 बैकबोन्स ऑफ द नेशन. जब तक वो नहीं इंप्रूव करेंगे तब तक है ना टिपिकल इंडिया के चैलेंजेस नहीं एक तो सॉल्व होंगे. सेकेंडली ऑब्वियसली देयर सो मेनी ऑफ माय फ्रेंड्स हु हैव लेफ्ट इंडिया. दे it's something that is a it's something which is very sad, and India really needs to think about how do they retain their affluent.
Okay, so last question, which is a question of the day. I know you're getting late. It's now that we have so many challenges. We have, challenges of CAC. We have challenges of profitability. We have challenges of price sensitivity, infrastructure. Like a lot of challenges, right? After accepting these challenges, what do you feel is the right sector or the right place to do business in? Like, what can be the best next business? Where do you feel is the next big opportunity? कि यार ये चीज करने पे I think India बाकी सब चीजों के लिए let's say ready नहीं है. For example, consumer goods के लिए it's right now D2C में it's bleeding because of XYZ platforms.
I think the better question here would be, first ask what are you good at. So there are 3 circles. What am I extremely good at? हर आदमी के पास ना आपकी जैसे कोई एक स्किल होगी जो मेरे पास नहीं है, मेरी एक स्किल होगी जो आपके पास नहीं है. Every person, our brain print is a million times more sensitive than our thumbprints. So everyone comes with their own sense of skill, ability. एक आदमी को आप कितना भी डांस सिखा दो वो नहीं सीखता, एक को ना सिखाओ वो भी अच्छा डांस करता है. So what are you good at? एक तो ये जो आपको भगवान ने किस चीज के लिए बनाया है, अच्छा, जिसके लिए ना आपको माइंड नहीं लगाना पड़ता, जो ना इजी फ्रिक्शनलेस आप काम कर लेते हो. सेकंड इज व्हाट इज इट दैट यू रियली फाइंड जॉय. मतलब जॉय एज अ वर्ड इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. व्हाट डू यू फाइंड जॉय इन? आपको क्या पसंद है? एक तो है कि यार आप ये काम अच्छे से कर लेते हो, और एक ऐसा है कि एक काम ऐसा है जो मेरे को ना पढ़ने में इट लीव्स मी फैसिनेटेड. फॉर मी दैट जॉय इज ट्रैवलिंग, रियल एस्टेट, startups, technology, and last is what will people pay for. लोग क्या करते हैं ये दोनों के, people don't understand. A lot of people ask me कि नहीं यार आपने हमारे बच्चे को कहा था कि आप पैशन फॉलो करो. वो उसको गिटार का पैशन था, मुश्किल से 9-10 हज़ार की नौकरी कर रहा है, गिटार बजाता है रेस्टोरेंट में. I said you should also ask what will people pay for. मार्केट कहाँ पे है? ये तीनों को जब आप मिक्स करोगे ना तब आपके पास आंसर आएगा. In my opinion, markets in India, in my opinion, anything related to technology stack is amazing. Matlab, and not only for India but for the world. The good part is today you can build it from India for the world. Pura fresh works ही ऐसे चल रहा है. मतलब what I'm saying is that there are global companies coming out of India, and India will become a hotspot for talent, especially technology challenge. The second one would be industries जहाँ पर ना लेबर, जैसे छोटा सा एग्जांपल है मैन्युफैक्चरिंग. इंडिया हैज द पोटेंशियल टू बिकम द नेक्स्ट चाइना, एंड थिंग्स लाइक इंडस्ट्री 4.0, एनीथिंग, रोबोटिक्स. मतलब इंडिया हैज द पोटेंशियल टू बी द पायनियर ऑफ इंडस्ट्री 4.0, एंड आई कॉल इट रानिया 53. रोबोटिक्स, autonomous vehicles, nanotechnology, internet of things, machine learning, artificial intelligence, uh, 5 5G, 3D printing. These are things which are going to engulf us. The question is, आज भी एक बिल्डिंग बनाने में 2 से 3 साल लग जाता है. आज कंस्ट्रक्शन में इतनी टेक्नोलॉजी आ गई, आप 3 महीने में बना सकते हो. बट the whole idea is, how do you amalgamate technology with value creation and finance? India is a country where आज इंडिया अगर एक चीज के लिए जाना जाएगा टेक्नोलॉजी में, दैट इज फिनटेक. यूएसए में कार्ड सिस्टम इज वेरी गुड, मोबाइल सिस्टम इज पैथेटिक, पूरा ब्रोकन है. इंडिया का जो मोबाइल इंटरफेस है, मोदी गवर्नमेंट हैज डन अ फिनोमिनल जॉब फॉर दिस काइंड ऑफ हेल्थ केयर. इंडिया कैन बिकम द ट्रू हेल्थ केयर टेक्नोलॉजी प्लेटफॉर्म फॉर द वर्ल्ड. सो आई जस्ट फील इंडिया के लिए ये बड़े इंटरेस्टिंग सेगमेंट्स हैं जहां पे पीपल कैन रियली वर्क अराउंड.
Thank you so much for watching this episode till the end. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, and share it with everyone else around you, because you never know. One conversation can spark an idea which can be the start of your $1 billion startup. So share it with your friends, family members, enemies as well. Just share it with each and everybody. You never know what happens next and who you're going to help in the process of sharing the right information. Until the next episode, keep figuring out.